That's all?
Yep.
Heck yeah. Ronnie is one step closer to greatness. As you can see, the old bed, she's a little thin in some spots. She's in pretty good shape. I feel like we can haul some plywood back here.
Coming down.
Coming down. It's okay, it's definitely in good shape. Definitely. This thing's gonna be ready for the track. Let's see what kind of damn chassis situation we got going on over here. See, starting to look, the whole project starting to look a little excited.
A little catwalk with roll outside professionals.
Yeah, well, the Red Rider's right there, baby. All right, one thing that I noticed from originally we had said this thing was a 1973. That was what I was told my whole life. Looking at the VIN number, this thing was assembled in 10 of 73. So Ronnie's actually a 1974. Not that it matters, same body style, but I don't want to be calling him a 73 and him actually being a 74. So he's a year newer than what we thought. All right, next thing, front suspension. This is what Nitro thinks about his whole project. What do you think, Nitro? He said y'all are a bunch of idiots. Ronnie's starting to get a little firing over here. We got a few miscellaneous suspension components that are out. Anybody out there that needs like a slightly pre-on front 74 pickup truck suspension and a rear suspension.
You got brand new brakes for it over there?
Yeah, we got new brakes. Look at that. There you go.
Mats are still good.
Huh? Stevie Fast Jackson, Bahrain 1 Racing, here with the long-awaited episode 3 of Project Ronnie. Now, as you guys can see through some of the footage and all the pile of parts on the floor, we have Ronnie pretty much mechanically disassembled. Haven't started on any body work yet, but we now have a plan nailed down of what we're gonna do. I wanna start off by saying thank you guys for the outpouring of support, comments, and suggestions on working on this project. You guys know from the first 2 episodes, this truck is close to my heart. I care about it. It's an emotional project for me. This is also way out of my wheelhouse. I don't know what I'm doing on any of this. I appreciate you guys' patience. There's things that we took apart on this truck that took way too long, a lot of bloody knuckles, And you guys are gonna have to be patient with the assembly process too. Building race cars is in my wheelhouse. Building street/race vehicles is not. But with that said, I want to get on to the plan for Project Ronnie. We're going to lay out what we're going to do and a time frame, hopefully, to get it done. Now, I also want to preface it with this. The time frame of getting it done before Gainesville is not going to happen. There's simply no parts in the world to be had. Nearly every manufacturer that we have dealt with from top to bottom is experiencing material and labor delays and shortages. And what I thought I could do is just pick up the phone and buy stuff, and you just can't do that anymore. So we're going to start at the bottom and work our way to the top on the plans on what this thing is. Now, some of this stuff was really close on deciding. When I tell you that I looked at you guys' questions and comments, I looked at every single one of them. I put them into a spreadsheet, and your guys' opinion of what we're going to do with this project matters to me. So if we pick something that you didn't want to do, I'm sorry. But I think we've got a really good all-around package on how to make Ronnie one of the most awesome street/strip vehicles ever. So let's start with the bottom. Let's start with the chassis. Actually, let's start with the bed. The bed was the hardest decision that I made during all of this build. Everything else was kind of difficult. Deciding whether to keep it long bed or short bed was very tough. You're gonna hear this a couple times in this. In the end, I let my mom make the decision. I talked to her a lot about this project. My mother says that this truck was born a long bed and identifies as a long bed, and it can't be anything else. So with that said, Ronnie is gonna stay a long bed. I love short bed pickup trucks. There's a possibility down the road as the body falls apart on it that we will make it short bed, but for right now, Ronnie is gonna be a long bed. As far as the exterior, I'm going to do everything I can to leave the exterior exactly like it is. That was pretty unanimous across the YouTube channel that we wanted to keep the patina look. Now there's gonna be body panels that eventually just fall off, but we're gonna keep it like it is as long as we can. When I start replacing body panels, I'm probably more than likely gonna make it nice. And we'll cross that bridge a year or two down the road when we get there. Chassis. All right, let's start with the chassis. I tried to put a full chassis under this truck. There's simply no companies that were willing to make it in the time frame that I can stand to wait on it, not at any price. So what we're gonna do is we're going to make this chassis do what I want it to do. The frame and the chassis on Ronnie is very good. The body's falling apart. I was amazed at how good of condition the drivetrain components were on this truck. And in that mind, I'm probably gonna list all this for sale if someone needs it. I don't know what it's worth or what, if there's a market for it at all, but I definitely don't need any of the stock chassis stuff. So if you guys need some of that stuff, put a comment in the video. We're going to take the back of the vehicle, we're gonna make it a 4-link. Now, I was torn on leaf spring versus 4-bar suspension. With what I'm gonna do with it, and we're gonna get that at the end of the video, I need this thing to be able to handle power, and I need it to be drivable in a performance situation. So we're gonna notch the back of the frame, we're gonna C-notch it, we're gonna put a 4-link rear suspension with coilover shocks and disc brakes. That's gonna take care of the back half of the truck. Front suspension, complete overhaul. We're gonna replace the cross member, put in a rack and pinion steering, new disc brakes, coilover shocks up front, to make this thing a very modern handling performance vehicle. Power steering we're keeping, power brakes we're keeping. Let's go to interior. Interior very torn also. Like part of me wants to just put racing bucket seats in it and put a bunch of crazy stuff in it, and I don't feel like that would be true to the vehicle. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna replace the stuff that's broken and worn, meaning headlight switch, ignition switch, door handles on the sides, maybe recover the seat and fix the hole where you sit into, probably get a new steering wheel. Anything that's broken and functionally needs to be working is going to get replaced. Everything else is going to stay the same. Probably going to leave the same cracked dash in it. Probably going to leave all that rusty wood grain looking stuff in it. I love it. It's memories from my childhood. So that's the interior. All right, now to the topic that everybody wants to talk about, powertrain. I felt like we needed to shoot the powertrain portion in the engine room. This is my happy place. This is my when hard times set in. Okay, powertrain. Again, this was a very close decision. Most of you guys' comments steered us, a lot of them on just get the engine running and drive it. We had a tremendous amount of comments wanting screwball and Hemis, small block Chevrolets, big block Chevrolets, screwballers, nitrous motors, ProCharge motors. We even had, I think one guy suggested put turbos on it, which is not going to happen. But in the end of the day, I was so on the fence. I talked to my mom and I said, Mom, I want to keep this thing in the spirit of Ronnie, but like I am a wild, crazy, outside the box guy. Like I want to do something unique. And she said, listen, Ronnie was an adventure-taking man. He was in the Air Force, flew planes, and raced motocross all over the world. If he could have been a race car driver, he would have been a race car driver. Do what you want to with it. And that's like pulling the string on a weed eater. I took off. I was like, oh my God, my mom's not going to kill me. We're about to do some crazy stuff. So with that said, a lot of you guys are going to, this is going to be the dismay of a lot of you, and a lot of you are going to go, whoa! But be patient with me and finish watching to the end. We're going to get to the purpose when we get done with the powertrain. I'm going to build my own. I'm going to build my own engine for this truck. There's a whole bunch of kits where you can just write a check if you can find it and buy like a package and a bunch of stuff, and it all goes in there and it's nice. And I'm not that guy. I want to struggle and fail through it all and do all my own stuff in house. So we're going to build our own engine from the ground up. We're going to build a LSX 427 cubic inch engine, tall deck. It's going to be boosted. I couldn't keep it naturally aspirated because I'm just not a naturally aspirated guy. Didn't want to do nitrous on it because I just wanted more power than what that's capable of supporting on this type of project. So LSX 427 hydraulic roller camshaft, Diamond Pistons supplying the pistons and rings, Manley Performance supplying the valve train, Cali Performance Products supplying the crankshaft and the rods, Holley EFI on top. And while we're on this subject, there are a lot of companies that reached out to me that some of them partner with us on the race program side, some of them don't, and are so excited about being part of this project. You'll hear about more folks joining our project as we go. Strange Engineering, long-term sponsor, is very excited about doing the third member, the axles, the brakes, some of the suspension components. 5-Bar Motorsports is doing a lot of the drive stuff, supercharger end of the deal, helping me with some advice about this stuff because I don't know a lot about it. Abby's Performance Engines is going to be helping us with the engine build process. All of the Holley EFI brands, Holley EFI, Holley Classic trucks, Clevite, Molly. There's a lot of companies that are on board and excited about this project. So we're going to build our own engine. When I got to the bottom end's pretty simple. We kind of know what we're going to do. Hydraulic roller camshaft. When we got to the cylinder head department, I didn't feel like there was what I thought we needed out there. So we're going to do our own cylinder head for this thing. And I'm excited about that. There's a lot of this stuff that's cookie cutter. I'm going to make some of it not cookie cutter. I am aiming on this thing to make, I want to make 1,000 horsepower on pump gas. I want to make 1,500 plus on E85. So when we got to the boost, we know it's boosted. It's got to have boost, right? All cool engines have boost. When we got to the boost deal, I was torn between ProCharger. ProCharger is a long-term partner of mine. We sell a lot of their product, respect them a lot. And then, of course, all the other superchargers manufacturers out there. I wanted to go with a Whipple because I want it to fit under the flat hood. That flat rusty hood is stuck in my head as a staple of my childhood. As much as I wanted a big screwblower hat hanging out of the hood, I wanted to keep it flat, rusty, and absolutely stock looking as I could. So we're going to put the biggest Whipple supercharger that they make. We're going to put a 4.5 liter Whipple on it. When I called them, they're like, this is way too much supercharger for what you're doing. And I said, perfect, that's exactly what I want. They said 2.9 will get you there. And I'm like, yeah, I know that, but if you made a 7.9, that's what I'd want to put on it. Whipple Charge LSX, I have no idea on boost numbers and stuff. We'll probably dyno the thing when we get it done and kind of give us a roundabout idea on powertrain, on what we're making for power. Behind it, we're going to put a 4-speed GM overdrive transmission. I want to be able to take this thing and take it to drag week. I want to be able to take it to sick week if I want to do it. I want to be the baddest. I believe that I have the stinkiest burnouts on the planet. I think some of the World Series of Pro Mod burnouts will prove that I can, and I've said this before, I can do the longest, nastiest, stinkiest burnout on the planet. So I want to be able to slide around a burnout pad if I want to and crush everybody in the world. I want to be able to take it to Dairy Queen and get a blizzard on a Friday night. I need it to be versatile enough. I have a fleet of Pro Mods out here that make 4,000 horsepower that require 6 pairs of hands on them all the time to keep them running. I don't want to work on this thing more than what I drive it. When I get it done, it's going to be a lot of work to get it there, but when I get it there, I want to be able to enjoy it. And that's you know, I'm all about wild, but I still want to be able to have it where I can drive the thing. And when we talk about purpose, that's its purpose. I want to be able to, I'm probably not going to drag race it, although it may see the drag strip at some time, but I want to be able to do sick week, drag week type stuff, car shows. I love car people. You know, as car people, we're all a family. I want to spend some time doing that type of stuff. Definitely want to be able to drive it around, and if there's a burnout competition, everybody else might as well just not show up. So that's what we're doing with Powertrain. That's its purpose. Thank you guys so much for your support and your interest in this project. I mean it. Seeing how invested a lot of you are in this project fuels my fire. Well, I do what I do most of everything in my life for the fans, and to see you guys engage with me, and not only that, but help me. I am leaning on you guys for help. I have never built one of these things. I've never built a fast street car like this, not for 20 years. So there's some pretty cool stuff out there. I'd be lying if I didn't say when I get out of bed in the morning, I'm really excited about this project. I can't wait to get it done. I can't wait to get started on it. Starting in episode 4, we are gonna get the chassis. We're gonna start on the chassis. We're gonna start stringing bars, cutting, chopping, welding, and try to get it where it'll handle 1,500 horsepower. We already know the body's gonna fall apart. I'm gonna try to make it fall apart fast as we can. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you in episode 4.